Thank you so much for tuning in today. So, it is quite clear that there is a shift happening in the global distribution of power. Those who used to control everything are now desperately trying to hold on to the old world order, while those states that are emerging are finding themselves having a lot more say than they used to before, even a decade ago. Even though the BRICS bloc is purely an economic partnership, it seems that it has taken on a new shape as countries sort of realign themselves. While the United States first brushed it off as unimportant and continuously diminished the role of the BRICS and its potential, following last year's acceptance of new member states, its rhetoric has changed. And that might be due to the fact that although the bloc consists of developing nations, and of course they have their own issues, their potential is very, very strong. And it may even be a direct threat to the G7 economies, as those continue to show barely noticeable growth and economic contractions. The United States is not yet so much concerned with the BRICS as a whole, but the rapidly improving relationship between China, its biggest peer competitor, and Russia. China's ability to create employment domestically and use that to expand and quite aggressively, in a positive sense of the word, its industrial capacity was the reason why Janet Yellen visited China just 2 weeks ago. Last week, it was Secretary of State Anthony Blinken's turn to travel all the way to China to say, it's either you stop your trade with Russia or else we will sanction you. While we may think that that's a bit dramatic, that actually was the tone that Blinken used throughout his visit. And ultimately, his visit was far less successful than Yellen's visit, which is bad news for the United States, of course, and very, very difficult to imagine. Blinken served as a great showcase of U.S. diplomacy at work. When he arrived at the airport, for example, he was greeted by lower level officials, and that's not to be disrespectful, but that's what it was. There was no red carpet for him either. Anthony Blinken had a meeting scheduled with Xi Jinping, and he actually either ran.
Call Lord Yah. Call Lord Yah Bashem Yahushai. Call Lord Yah Bashem Yahushai. All right. Hey, I want to give double honors to my apostles and others of great millstone who well. Shalom, brothers. And I'm home. Let's see if I can make this quick, through the spirit. And let's get the first scripture, man. You know, let's get the first scripture, man. First scripture you think about. All right, let's go. This right here. This is where we're heading. All right. We got the bricks are going strong and they're gonna destroy the dollar, man. Thus say Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. All right. Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. And eventually, Babylon the Great America, they're gonna go into war because all they know is war. All right. And once they find out that this dollar is going to be destroyed, this is the digital currency that's going to be put in effect, and then the charagma is going to come right behind it. All right, brothers. As you heard what she said, Blinken, which is an Amalekite, wicked Amalek, went to visit China, and she said uh, 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 low level Chinese came to greet him and no red carpet. And then 2 weeks ago, Yellen, she was dismissed. You know, is to show you that China and these other nations they have no respect for Babylon the Great America anymore because they come to the realization that the whore has been deceiving them, man, for years, and they've been bullying the nations around the world with the petrodollar, all right? The fiat petrodollar has no value. And this is why you have the BRICS. This is why next their next summit meeting, there is a summit. It's going to be in October, which is going to be over there in Russia. So that's a big step. Something's going to happen to the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai. But this is the point right here. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hook into spears. And let the weak say, I am strong. All right. And that's what you're seeing right here. All right. The Chinese, the Indians, the BRICS nation, Putin, Russia. And there's more countries that are joining the BRICS. All right. Um, they're they're tired of you, man. They're tired of Esau. They're tired of the whore. So hey, prophecy is right in front of us, man. This economy is about to crash. The dollar's about to get how you get de-dollarized. We're gonna see a high rate of unemployment and shortages of products, food. And like the Lord said, man, He's going to visit Babylon the Great. Let's listen.
Late to that meeting or perhaps try to make a statement of some sort, but Blinken was late to the meeting and made Xi Jinping wait in Beijing. And there were videos of Xi Jinping sort of pacing back and forth, and I will share that video with you in a second. So the video is showing Xi Jinping pacing back and forth a bit and even asking his aide when Blinken was scheduled to depart China, and then responding good when his aide actually said that it was the same night or the following day, I believe. So take a look at that video.
好 Good afternoon， 主席好，很高兴见到你。
During a meeting with Blinken, after almost 2 days of discussing China's foreign trade policies and, of course, its trade specifically with Russia, Xi Jinping reiterated that, quote, the United States and China should be partners rather than rivals, and the two countries should, quote, help each other succeed. So there were no strong words against Blinken's real purpose for the visit, which is, of course, to contain China. That is the entire point. And the Chinese knew that that was the entire point of the visit. The United States wants to contain China militarily and depress it economically by sanctioning its trade and effectively instructing it how to develop its economic policies, who it can and who it can't trade with, while at the same time the United States
Yeah, the bully wants to continue to bully the world, but it's over for Babylon the Great. It's over.
is getting further and further in debt to allocate tens of billions of dollars to fund foreign wars directly. Xi Jinping also
Yeah, because all he knows is war. You know, all he knows is war. Let's go to Revelation chapter 6, verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that said thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword.
cautioned Blinken against supporting aggressive competition with China, and he emphasized that he would rather pursue partnership and respectful cooperation than rivalry. So here's Xi Jinping himself meeting with Anthony Blinken. Take a look.
45年的中美关系历经风风雨雨，给我们不少重要启示。两国应该做伙伴，而不是当对手。
Look at this Amalekite, man. You know, just look at him. That's pure hatred right there. That's a demon right there.
应该彼此成就，而不是相互伤害；应该求同存异，而不是恶性竞争；应该言必信，行必果，而不是说一套做一套。我提出相。
You see what he said? He said, say one thing and do the opposite. So, and that's Esau, the Edomites, that Babylon the Great. They'll say something and they'll do the opposite, man. And they did it. It's always been Esau's resume. Let's go to Psalms. Let's go to the book of Psalms. All right, let's go. What's that? 55. Yeah. 55. Let's go there. Psalm 55. All right, and we're gonna start at 20. He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. This is Esau M.O. This is his M.O. All right, and this is why he was found through the prophecies. This is the characteristics of Esau. All right. So when you said, look, man, the bricks, they don't really want to deal with Babylon the Great.
相互尊重、和平共处、合作共赢三条大原则，既是过去经验的总结，也是走向未来的指引。
However, Anthony Blinken's response was not really surprising. It was very much expected and predictable. He effectively lectured a country that is located thousands of miles away from the United States that it must stop trading machine tools, microelectronics, and other product components with Russia, because the latter may be able to use those things to produce military drones and other equipment. Even though, of course, this is highly political, I'm approaching this visit from an economic perspective and viewing it through the BRICS lens. Of course, China will continue to trade with its partners, especially in the context of its next door neighbor and in many ways its biggest ally. So one could say that it is actually quite hypocritical or naive to come to a country with the goal to instruct it what to do. So here's Anthony.
Yeah, and that's Esau's trait, the bully. You know, go around with his unrighteous decrees. All right. Uh, Scripture speaks about. Let me see. Let me go right here. Hold on. Bear with me. All right. Righteous, righteous decrees. I'm Salakia. Bear with me. Oh, yeah, we got a couple of these. Yeah. Oh, man. All right, let's listen to this first. Let's listen to the devil.
Blinken sharing the purpose of his visit. He's explaining why he's there and why it is so important. Watch.
I reiterated our serious concern about the PRC providing components that are powering Russia's brutal war of aggression against Ukraine. China is the top supplier of machine tools, microelectronics, nitrocellulose, which is critical to making munitions and rocket propellants, and other dual-use items that Moscow is using to ramp up its defense industrial base. A defense industrial base that is churning out rockets, drones, tanks, and other weapons that President Putin is using to invade a sovereign country, to demolish its power grid and other civilian infrastructure, to kill innocent children, women, and men. Russia would struggle to sustain its assault on Ukraine without China's support. In my meetings with NATO allies earlier this month, and with our G7 partners just last week, I heard that same message. Fueling Russia's defense industrial base not only threatens Ukrainian security, it threatens European security. Beijing cannot achieve better relations with Europe while supporting the greatest threat to European security since the end of the Cold War. As we've told China for some time, ensuring transatlantic security is a core U.S. interest. In our discussions today, I made clear that if China does not address this problem, we will.
You see that? You see that? And that's Esau for you, man. The bully. And this is the proud. This is the pride of Esau, man. You know, this is the pride of Esau, man. Let's get Isaiah 26. You know, let's get the book of Isaiah 26. Let's go to verse 9. All right. I mean 10. Salaki. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightnesses will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord, man. So this devil, he's not going to sit down and try to make peace talks, man. If he doesn't get his way, what is he gonna do? As the scriptures say, what's that? Revelation 11. He dropped bombs on you, man. That's what they do. Make fire come from heaven. Matter of fact, let me go here real quick. All right, let me get this real here. Yeah, scripture speaks about that. Let me see if it let me see if it comes up. Here we go. No. Here we go. Yep, this is it. Revelation 13 and 13. See, he was doing this for years. And at one time, uh, the nations were afraid. Verse 12, Revelation 13 and 12. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, the Roman Empire, and caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed, the Roman revised Roman Empire, which was America. And he do great wonders, so that he make a fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. See? And this what happened, you know, this what happened during World War One, World War Two, all the Revolutionary War, the Civil Wars here in Babylon the Great, you know, and the nations were afraid, man. You know that movie. I still got to see that movie, Oppenheimer. You know when you also had what's his name, Doctor. Damn, what is his name, Doctor Evil, something like that. Uh, if if he was damn, what was that? It's back in the 50s. The guy Oppenheimer. I forgot Salakia, brother, but he said something like he made a speech, you know, and he tells you that he's the devil, man, you know. But this is it right here, and this is the mindset that Esau has. You know, this is why he says this, because he still think he has that type of power. But that's the scripture speaks about uh you let's get Obadiah. All right, let's get Obadiah. All right, let's get Obadiah. Bear with me. All right, right here. Let's get Obadiah. Let's highlight that green. Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee. That's what's going on. And the Lord is doing that. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that say in his heart, his spirit, right? Who shall bring me down to the ground? He still believes this. He still believes he's that man. No one can touch him. And he does have a powerful military, but the Lord is going to make it through prophecy. Because the scripture says down here, verse 7, all the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. There is none understanding in them. See? So ultimately, they're going to shoot at the whore. Verse 16, Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. Why? Because the Lord controls everything. For the Most High Yahweh have put in their hearts to fulfill His will. See, no one can resist the Lord's will. All right. The Lord ruled among the kingdoms of men, Daniel 4, Psalm 75. All right. And to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, and to the words of the Most High should be fulfilled. All right. So the Lord's going to make this happen, man. So what you're seeing right now, let's go back, the pride of Amalek. Let's listen to Amalek, the devil speak again. But ultimately it's going to backfire on them because the BRICS is going to push this digital system, and that's going to that's going to destroy the petrodollar,
As we
man.
told China for some time, ensuring transatlantic security is a core U.S. interest. In our discussions today, I made clear that if China does not address this problem, we will.
See
I
that?
also expressed
See
our
that?
concern about the PRC's unfair trade practices and the potential consequences of industrial overcapacity for global and U.S. markets, especially
See, I made clear our policies and intention. This is them.
in a number of key industries that will drive the 21st century economy, like solar panels, electric vehicles, and the batteries that power them. China alone is producing more than 100% of global demand for these products, flooding markets, undermining competition, putting at risk livelihoods and businesses around the world.
So, if I had to say whether this visit actually made matters worse than they were before between China and the United States, I would likely say yes, it did. Instead of a more or less open dialogue between peers, and I don't mean this in a purely political sense, what we witnessed here was something completely different and very likely offensive for the host country. I'm saying this because Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi actually said to Blinken that the United States should not try to interfere in China's domestic matters. It should not try to challenge Chinese core interests, and it should not try to limit its economic development. Wang Yi said, China's demands are consistent. It always advocates mutual respect for core interests. The United States should not interfere in China's internal affairs, should not suppress China's development, and should not cross Beijing's red lines regarding China's sovereignty, security, and development interests. What was quite interesting about this particular quote is that Wang Yi said, look, the relationship between China and the United States may have improved somewhat on the surface, likely, but there are many, many negative things that have been accumulating. And guess what? We are aware of those things. So let me know in the comments.
So there you go, man. And this is all, you know, by the hands of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, man. So this thing is gonna get the relationships between, America and China is gonna get worse, you know, and that's ultimately is going to stir up, World War III. That's the main. That's what all of this is heading. Everything we see right now with the BRICS, pushing their digital monetary fund, globally. Everybody's this is bad, man. And already Babylon the Great is already suffering with debt. You got foreclosures. You got you know, these states, complaining about no money. There's no money. They're broke. They're closing amusement parks, libraries. The Lord is taking away the mirth of this place, man. And these are all prophecies, man, and they're slowly being developed. Call all Yahweh Shem Shai, Yahweh Ratazah, you are edified. Shalom.